Avenue Q. I love this musical. Uh, Quite frankly, I understand some people's points on some of the songs being a little insensitive, but along those same lines, I think that the depiction of these songs with puppets makes it more acceptable. I think that taking these touchy topics, like everyone's a little bit racist, everyone has these subconscious prejudices in their minds that aren't necessarily able to be controlled because of a subconscious thing in their heads. And I think that while yes, these subconscious underlying things within individuals based upon race should be uh, disregarded and not even thought about. I think that the fact that these puppets are depicting this makes it that much more capable to be absorbed by the audience. I think that using a touchy topic and using puppets really helps hammer home the idea that these topics, while yes, they are funny when watching them being performed by puppets, but it also leaves you with that itching little thought in your head like, oh my gosh, am I this way? Do, do I do these things? Do I have this underlying subconscious thing that I have no idea is there? Like, I think that right there is the entirety of Avenue Q, in my opinion, and I think it does it beautifully. It addresses uh, not only that, but the uh, the theme of homosexuality and being comfortable overall with your sexuality as a person. And I think that while, again, yes, the puppets make it a little bit dramatic and exaggerated and a little bit over the top for what might be considered a quote unquote stereotype, I think that allowing audiences to see that and understand that this is how people of the extreme opinions, leaning far right, view these individuals. They put them into these stereotypes, and they think that this is the right way to think about them. But Avenue Q puts a puppet into this position and makes everyone think, oh my gosh, so everyone thinks this is funny, but it's a very serious thing to be addressed. Like, when it sparks that conversation that's going to come up after the show, like, oh my, how did you feel about this song when they started singing this part? Like, obviously they the Avenue Q was supposed to do exactly that, and I am a firm believer in that shows should be doing that regardless. I think that in order to keep an audience engaged, you gotta make an audience think. You got to make them come out after the show and be like, and think about things that happened within the show, and then have those people apply them to their own life and recognize the fact that some of these things may be happening. And in Avenue Q, it does a very good job of representing broke, fresh out of college individuals, I think, in my opinion. Uh, as well as the LGBTQ community. I don't know why I always struggle with that. So many letters. Uh, but I think that the representation of these characters being put into the stereotype as puppets makes it an interesting makes it an interesting aspect for audiences to view and take these humorous songs and definitely think about these things after the show. And upon the idea of censorship, I get it. I think that the sexualization of a puppet in advertising, while yes, it would have made the advertisement more clear to people coming to see the show. I think that having something like that on display, uh, it is not necessarily a bad thing to the extent of no, yeah, no, sorry, I thought I was going to make a case for it being bad, but I just can't think of one. I mean, like, there's the idea of keeping kids' eyes safe, like, oh, don't let kids see that, but I don't know. When a kid looks at that, they're not gonna sexualize it because they're innocent minds, and I think that when they see a puppet, they're gonna think of like the Muppets or uh, what's Elmo on Sesame Street, uh, things like that. Like their first thought isn't gonna be about what kind of controversy is this puppet gonna cause. Like that's not their first thought. So I don't think there was any need to censor the advertising, personally.